May the Swartz be with you, Dr. Lovelle. Hello, Raleigh. Welcome to Monday's COVID-19 regular update with Dr. Lovelle. Dr. Lovelle, I hope you're doing well today.
I certainly am. Thank you.
Well, we always look forward to Monday and the updates. Generally speaking, the numbers don't look good.
That is true. That is true. And as I mentioned last week, it does vary from state to state. But here in North Carolina, we are definitely trending upwards. And the same thing in South Carolina. So, I mean, if you remember that the Johns Hopkins graph of trends over the 5 days, and we're getting pinker as we're going along, which means we're seeing more and more cases. So, definitely a worrisome trend.
You know, it seems to me, Dr. Lovelle, that we set a guideline but didn't stick to it, right? We're
Exactly.
looking for 14 days.
Yeah, the whole thing was to have 14 straight days of declining numbers. And I don't think there was really any state that followed that to the T. Some did more than others. We definitely did not.
Right.
Definitely did not. And the whole thing is, I understand people they're anxious to get out. The beaches are there. It's gorgeous. Well, not today, but it has been gorgeous. And so people want to be out and do things. But the virus is still here, and we're now seeing the effects of all of that.
Right. And I certainly understand. I've been self-employed, straight commission for 25 consecutive years. I know what it means when you can't go to work on your cash flow. So I get the desire, but I think it's fair to say we haven't seen the numbers really do anything but go up. So
Exactly. In certain in New York, actually, they are definitely continuing to trend downward. But perhaps that was, it was so bad they literally put the stops on people
right,
going out, and that's what happened. Now we're seeing the numbers go down. So it really is just be patient for a little
right.
bit, and then we're good.
But here in our backyard, we're getting pink or redder, which means the numbers are going up. So let's review. We do know washing hands, check, big time.
Mhm.
Which is less important than mask out in public. If you're in the public, wear a mask, 100%.
Exactly.
Right. Stay at home when you can, right?
Hmm.
What else, Dr. Lovelle, can we do right now to stay focused on minimizing our contact?
Okay.
And
And not so much even just minimizing the contact, but because once we go out, the contact is there. We're seeing that with these numbers going up. But the other thing that we can do is increase our own immunity. And we had
right.
spoken about this a little bit before, but because these numbers are going up, I just wanted to bring that out there again, the things that we can do ourselves to bolster our own health. And one of the things we were talking about before we got on today was vitamin D. Vitamin D is immensely important for your immune system, for really just how the way your whole body works. And many of us are deficient in vitamin D. And so that's one thing that would be helpful, not to just go out and start taking it because if you
Right.
don't know, but to find out what your levels are. And then if you are low, to start supplementing them.
So quick question, does sunblock, which blocks UV rays, also block vitamin D? Is that the same thing or?
Because it's the rays that are actually changing the vitamin D that's in your body into a usable form. So
Okay.
yes, and so it's kind of like this push pull between having enough sunlight to get the vitamin D that you want, but not so much that you then put yourself at risk for precancerous and cancers.
Right. And the best way is to start with a test and see where you are, I would imagine.
Exactly, exactly.
Is that an invasive test? Do I have to be knocked out to get my vitamin D levels?
You might. Most everyone, most
Oh,
people will not. No, no, it's just a routine blood test.
uh, that's helpful. Thank you. So focusing on the numbers, focusing on vitamin D, any other helpful hints or suggestions?
Yeah, zinc is actually another one, and that's another mineral that we see a lot of deficiencies in people. And one of the reasons, especially those who are vegetarian or vegan, and the reason that with zinc and copper kind of work together. So vegetarians and vegans tend to be higher in copper, lower in zinc. So that would be one thing that they would really want to make sure. And the reason we're thinking that zinc might be involved, actually there are two reasons. One, you may have heard that that they're seeing a kind of high correlation of people who are positive for COVID-19 actually having loss of smell and taste.
I've
And
heard that.
yeah, and that's related. They believe it's related to a zinc deficiency. The other thing that may be happening is that that same sort of zinc is very involved in the whole immune cascade. So all of the difficulty with the lungs may be related to lower levels in zinc.
Oh, so by
Mhm.
focusing on keeping these levels where they need to be, you're
Ex-
just fighting it before it gets in, right? Or once it's in, you're going to minimize it.
Exactly. Exactly. So
Um,
those are two of the big ones.
we've spoken a time or two that part of the problem is just not many people are passing from it, but it also has a lot of health problems for those who survive it. Um,
Yes.
can you
Yes.
speak to that a little bit? I think a lot of people go, well, it's not killing that many people. And I'm like, well, it is, A, and B, that's just part of it.
The
Could you?
part.
Yeah,
Yeah, so one of the concerning things is that the younger population, and this is who we felt was not being affected as much, which is true number wise, but those who do it and then recover are seeing issues with blood clotting, for instance, and
right,
strokes. And this is in younger populations that are not prone to these kind of conditions. And so we don't even really have a good reason or a good answer for why this is happening.
right,
So, for those who are saying, well, I'm young and it doesn't really matter, or it doesn't matter if my kids, because, kids are so less likely to get it, just know that if they do, then they also at higher risk for these unexplained conditions after recovery.
right. And that's just one of the ones we know, and we won't know all of the impact for years to come. So,
Exactly, exactly.
um,
Especially because we're still seeing mutations. So, yeah.
okay, so will you shed some light on this next piece for me? They have a detect and trace as part of, once we start the numbers coming down, we need to identify those with it, who they've contacted. Is that, can you speak to the importance of that, please, Dr. Lovelle?
Well, yeah, it's like if you remember maybe a month or so, whatever spring break was, when they had they literally
Florida.
had a phone thing where they kind of track where phones went from California and it literally went exploded across the nation as everybody went home. So this is the same sort of thing. We need to know where people are. If they haven't contracted it, have they come in contact with and who they have as well. This is something that it's not new. This didn't start with COVID-19. We've been doing this for decades. We think about the tuberculosis with the Spanish flu, with the influenza. We've been doing this contact tracing you know, for quite a while. It's important as far as public health.
Right. I would like to add too that getting tested for this is really easy. If you've been out protesting or you've been in a public environment where you're worried, there are a lot of facilities where you can simply make an appointment, free test, 24, 36-hour notice. So
Exactly.
um, if you yourself are worried, do it. Don't wait for somebody to reach out to you.
It's it's much easier now.
Yes. Anything else you'd like to add, Dr. Lovelle?
I think that was a big thing for this week. Numbers are up. Take care of yourself. Be cautious, take care of yourself, and don't just assume that just because someone is young that, either they're not going to get it, number one, or that there won't be any untoward consequences.
Right. And I think we all need to keep in mind that we may be completely unaffected by it, not even know we have it, and pass it on to somebody who's vulnerable on multiple levels. So do wash your hands, wear your mask. If you go out, make sure you're shopping local because the local community is gearing up for this in ways that a lot of the big corporations cannot. If you have any questions or would you like to attend any of Dr. Lovelle's seminars, you can reach out to her directly. What's the best way to contact you, Dr. Lovelle?
The website is fine, which is www.premierwellness.com. And my number is 919-925-5910.
Dr. Lovelle has a lot going on about immunity, but she's also available to you if you have specific health-related issues along the lines of personal matters, weight gain, or other items. You want to speak just a little bit about your general practice, please, Dr. Lovelle?
Oh, absolutely. So really what we found is that people tend to get treated by symptoms. You know, if you're overweight or if you're diabetic or if you have high blood pressure, you treat the symptom with a pill or some kind of treatment, as opposed to looking for what the root cause is. Why is someone diabetic? Why is someone overweight? And then fixing that. And once you do that, things heal amazingly well.
Right. Well, you spend the time with your friends and patients or fratients, and
I like that. I made
were you,
that. Frasians.
it's yours. Take it away. And just if my little exposure of your bedside manner is its incredible warmth and healing and lifting, and I can't thank you enough, Dr. Lovelle, for all your time you share with us. So,
Thank you so much.
Raleigh, Wake County, and beyond. Dr. Lovelle of Premier Wellness is right here in your backyard. You give her a call if you need her, or join us next Monday and we'll have another update for you. Thank you, Dr. Lovelle. Thank you, Raleigh.
Thanks, Robert.